Hi, I'm Jason Concepcion, co-host of the official Game of Thrones podcast, House of the Dragon. And welcome to my bedroom. I'm here to answer some questions that you might have about Westeros, a very complicated place, ahead of House of the Dragon on HBO Max. And just a note, I have not seen any of these episodes yet, so this is me speculating based on my knowledge of the books. I might be right, I might be wrong. But I haven't seen anything yet. That is Blackfire, the fabled Blackfire, Sword of Kings, Valyrian steel sword, that was originally wielded by Aegon the Conqueror, most famous by Aegon the Conqueror, and thus became the Sword of Kings, became one of the hallmarks of legitimacy.
I have decided to name a new heir.
I'm your heir.
Cannibal is a reference to a wild dragon that, as you would imagine, eats other dragons. And I would highly doubt that Cannibal, should we see Cannibal, would be bigger than Vhagar, Balerion, the Black Dragon. I don't exactly know, of course, but judging from the books, they're around. Obviously, they're in the Westerlands. They're at Casterly Rock. They're an important family. They're going to be directly involved in some of the deliberations about the Targaryen succession, but they're not going to be movers and shakers in the same way they were in Game of Thrones. They're basically the same shape, right? Like, four-legged, wings, tail, big ugly face. The younger ones are smaller, and I think what we're going to see as this story unfolds is not just a lot of dragons, but dragons of different ages. Like Balerion the Black Dread is very old, over a century old by this time, and huge. Some of the other dragons are much younger, much more agile, but weaker if you're going to ride them into battle. So I think we're going to see a lot of younger dragons, and then wild dragons. Different factions are going to be looking for more dragons, and so they're going to be finding them in different places, and these could be dragons maybe that aren't used to being ridden by people. Mushroom is one of the sources for the book Fire and Blood. So the book Fire and Blood, written by George R. Martin, is written in the form of a history book, and it is compiled by Archmaester Gildane. And Gildane is pulling from various sources, one of whom is this fella Mushroom, who was like a court jester, I guess you could say. And the thing about Mushroom's narrative is it was always the spiciest. He was like the TMZ of this era. So you take a lot of what Mushroom was saying about what went on during this period with a grain of salt, but it was also kind of like the most fun stuff. I don't know, but it would be super fun to see Mushroom running around the Red Keep. Co-showrunner Ryan Condal and author of the Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire books, George R. Martin, have basically confirmed that this story will be based on the Fire and Blood book of history written by George. So yeah, it'll spoil the story, for sure. Like, immediately and hard, it'll spoil the story. It will provide some good context, but I would imagine, and I'm saying this as someone who's not yet seen the episodes, but I would imagine if you want that like deeper historical context about, what were the Lords of the North doing, what was going on in other places in the realm, what was the deeper context, etc., and you're not worried about being spoiled, go ahead, do it. But if you don't want to be spoiled, don't read Fire and Blood, wait until later.